With me is Clare Barber MHK, currently for Douglas East, but we're not talking about that today. Still no decision. I can't get that out of you before we start. I've tried the other week on an interview. But you're here to talk about Isle of Pride. Now, this is LGBT plus. I think we've talked in the past, of course, you were building up last year to this whole thing.
We were.
And then disaster hits with, obviously, the lockdown. Well, we're still in sort of lockdown this year, in the sense of people coming in, but you're going ahead.
We are. Right. So last year we were running off the back of infrastructure that would already be built. This year we had the same issue, but we decided we had enough time to put something in place, and we thought it was really important. It's the 30th anniversary year since Alan Shea famously protested on Tynwald Hill, really leading the way actually for a huge amount of change on the island. And we felt it was really important that Pride wasn't delayed by another year. And so we are bringing Pride to the Isle of Man, a large free Pride festival.
Of course, we chatted about this in Guernsey because
we're
down there while the event was on. Have you learned a lot of things from that? And will it be anywhere near the size? Because I mean, that was pretty impressive for a smaller island than ours.
Yeah. So we've spoken with colleagues in our counterparts in Guernsey and Jersey, and they've offered some really helpful insight. They obviously started, where we were when it was a newly formed committee trying to put on something that's pretty big, as you say. Yeah. The one thing that COVID has meant is that we're not going to have the week-long series of events. It will be the one day with events throughout the day, focused primarily this year in Douglas, but actually that's not, this is an island-wide event, and we want to be really clear about that.
But I'm hearing stages, marquees. Is this all
stages, marquees, lights, sound? It's all booked.
Oh, so it's going to be. This is not just a meeting and the car park somewhere or something. This is a big event.
That's absolutely. So we're going to be in the Villa Gardens. Villa Marine have been hugely supportive, and we've attracted sponsorship, which we're delighted with. So PokerStars are the lead sponsor for the event, and we've also had support from the Domestic Event Fund. So all of those things have come together to allow us to bring the party element of Pride, and there will be other parts of the event announced soon, and we've got sponsors lined up for those as well. So we've been really delighted actually with the level of corporate interest.
So are we going to see lots of rainbow flags and people walking through town, or like they did in Guernsey? I don't know. What's your ideas?
There's going to be bits of that coming. Yeah. I don't want to, spoiler alert.
Sure.
For the party though, we're going to be having local food outlets. We're going to have areas for families to enjoy, which again I'll be having more details coming around that. Right. We're going to have the main stage, lots of local artists. We've got so much talent here that we're going to be using it to make sure it's a whole day worth of live music, really.
Will it be a free event or pay to get in?
Free event. So obviously it would be a case of paying for food, paying for the bar, and paying if you want to buy any of our merchandise. We're going to have some stuff for sale there, some little memento souvenirs, and we want everyone to bring their rainbow flags, bring their rainbow scarves, bring their rainbow whatever they've got.
A lot of people must think, hang on, this is you're married, you got your kids, so on this where no one's asking you where you are, but you know what I mean, like why are you so involved in this one, and what makes you so passionate about it?
So I've been hugely passionate about equality, I think my whole life actually, and I've got friends who find themselves on all levels of the scale of the binary in terms of gender, sexuality, and I think actually it's really important that we come together as a community to say, actually, the thing that defines you is not your sexuality or your gender. We should enable people to be exactly who they want to be, their own authentic self. And for me, that's what Pride is about. So my thing, I see myself as a facilitator. I'd had lots of people talk to me about opportunities for Pride, and I just brought that group together. So this is not me by any stretch, and we've got other people who'll be doing some other interviews, coming up. But we've got a big committee and lots of input from lots of people actually that's been really positive.
I mean, the Isle of Man's come a long way so quickly. Any backlash on this? Any sort of resistance you've met, or what?
No, broadly everything has been really positive. I think when we first put stuff on social media, we talked about that last year, that there had been a little bit of negativity, people asking about straight pride, and I just think it's almost a shame that still comes up actually, because we, as someone who identifies as cisgender, heterosexual, I've never been asked about my sexuality. I've never had any question over if I tell people my sexuality, will that affect my career prospects? You know, will I be bullied because I'm straight? That doesn't happen. So actually, I just don't have the experiences that people who I talk to within the LGBTQ community do. So I think it's absolutely right that we celebrate the diversity on the island. As you say, we've come a long way in 30 years. You know, I mean, there's been a huge journey, and there's been some people who've been instrumental, and it's really important that we recognise that. You know, Alan Shea, absolutely one of the bravest people. You know, he stood in a parade 30 years ago to process up to Tynwald Hill.
And that's what I mean about timelines. 30 years is nothing in a sense, but it's everything here.
It is. It's, as you say, you know, Hazel Hannan, someone who's really supported, you know, through her role in Tynwald to make sure that we really promoted the equality agenda. So there's people who we absolutely must recognise in the journey. So this isn't about saying, yeah, we can party now and let's not worry about the past. This is about saying, actually, that's where we've come from, and that's so important to remember why we need to do this now. And it's been a long time coming, a free, full-scale Pride event.
So near last year. Will this become a regular event, and will you go back to that idea of tagging on to the TT sort of festival to have the infrastructure? Is that
so I think for us this is very much going to be an annual event, and with events throughout the year as well. We wanted the first event to be the big Pride event. That was something I think set in our minds, but we have been doing other work during the year in terms of some educational work, some support work, and we're trying to really build that up now. We've been hampered a little bit by COVID in terms of face-to-face meetings, but we also recognise the impact that's had on some people within the LGBTQ plus community. So certainly people we've talked to who for a couple of hours a week when they go to the youth clubs or they go to other social clubs where they can be their own authentic self, they've not been able to do that. And I can only, begin to imagine how that would feel to not be able to be me for the short period of time when I am able to do it, for that not to be able to happen during COVID. So we recognise that there's work to do.
Well, it sounds like it's almost in place, but there's a few things yet to be announced, I understand. Oh, yeah. But if there are other companies, people involved, or anyone wants to contribute, is that still on offer, or is it too late to offer?
No, so we've got people who've already volunteered who I'm going to be reaching out to again shortly with sort of firm details of who we need where on the day. But we're always welcome to have new faces. But also in terms of other events, there's going to be year-round work in this, so we'd like to hear from anyone who'd like to partner with Isle of Pride, and they can email events@isleofpride.im, and hopefully you can use your technology, Wiz, and get it on the screen for us.
So we do it. And that's the website as well, isleofpride.im, is it?
isleofpride.im, yeah.
All the details there.
That's
okay,
right.
Well, we'll be talking a little bit more. Still not saying she's standing, but yeah. Well, soon you get
We'll be back soon.
Okay, we're back soon.
For lots of reasons.